In today's video, I want to do a bit of discussion between three different microphones. Microphones often used for YouTube vlogging and run-and-gun style videography. One being the Rode VideoMic NTG, the Rode VideoMic Go II, and the Rode Wireless Go II. So among these three microphones, which microphone do you think will be best for vlogging?
Probably this one because it's closer to my mouth, so it can pick up sound directly coming from me versus me having to like project my voice over to like a camera over there.
So in this video, I wanted to talk about three different microphones. But for now, I want to just say that the Rode Wireless Go IIs are very, very convenient. I don't think there is any other more convenient microphone on the market right now. Perhaps the DJI wireless microphones, but after doing a bit of research, I saw that there's a little bit of latency or a little bit of time between when you actually speak and when the recorder actually records your voice. So it's very minimal, the DJI one. But just because of that, and I'm very obsessive about sound, because of that, I chose the Rode Wireless Go because it has less latency, less of that delay between your voice and the recording. Let's talk about the pros and cons of these three microphones. So the purpose of shotgun microphones, these two things, the longer ones, is they have this length just so that they are very directional. They focus more on recording audio in the direction that they are pointing. The longer it is, the more they reject the side noise for when you're recording. The thing is, the longer they are, the clunkier they become. I think that's why a lot of people choose the Rode VideoMic Go II over the Rode NTG. Let's talk about pros for each system. Like what I said, the Rode Wireless Go IIs are very convenient. They are wireless, so you just clip the receiver on your camera and you clip the microphone on your person, and you can essentially leave your camera shooting you, and you can go a little bit far from the... Since I have freedom, I could record myself speaking right now. I don't even have to raise my voice. And still get proper audio. If I were on a shotgun microphone, and hopefully my camera doesn't get stolen, if I were on a shotgun microphone, you wouldn't even be able to hear me speak to you right now. It's just too convenient having this wireless microphone. That's the video. That's the entire video. These two other microphones, the Rode VideoMic NTG and the Rode VideoMic Go II, they function very similarly. The Rode VideoMic Go II is battery-less, so you don't need to charge it, you don't need to plug it into an external power source. You just plug in the 3.5mm cable to your camera and you're good to go. While the Rode VideoMic NTG is a powered microphone. With this, you have to charge it. You can charge it via USB-C, but it will not function if it does not have any juice in it. But in the same way, you can just attach it to your camera with the same kind of cable. Why would you choose one over the other when this is clearly the shorter one? The one without battery is clearly more convenient. I actually choose the longer one, the one with battery, just because it has a few features that the Rode VideoMic Go II does not have. For one, it has a dedicated volume knob, so if I need to control my volume with an analog dial, it's already there. The other one does not have it. Another feature that I actually like is the 2-channel recording feature. You can record with the VideoMic NTG. One channel is louder, one channel is softer. This means that if you, for some reason, are recording very loud and soft sounds, you don't need to scrap your entire audio track. You can salvage a softer sound if it's too loud. But again, I actually prefer the wireless Go's just because they're so convenient if you're out doing more active things like going out on a skateboard or running or even going to the beach. If I'm over here, can you hear me? Okay. How about here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me here? No, so they can't hear me here. Let's go change microphones. I have a few tips for getting better audio for any of these systems. Number one is the closer the microphone is to your person, like this, this is very close, the better it will sound, and that's why I prefer the wireless Go's, just because they're always attached to your person. But if you really can't make use of a wireless microphone, you might do well with a shotgun microphone on top of your camera if you pair it with a wide angle lens so that you can be a little bit close rather than super far from your microphone. Have you figured out what your vlog will be like? What's the vibe?
Not really, not yet. I mean, I just bought the camera yesterday, so like, I'm not pressuring myself into immediately creating a... Are you seriously using this to test your microphone?
Another tip for getting better audio for any of these systems is to use a dead cat. For me, I'm using the Rode WS11, I think, for the Rode VideoMic NTG. Now, a dead cat will prevent that wind sound for those windy days. I did not buy the Rode one for the Rode VideoMic Go II. What I did instead was, and this is some sort of budget hack. What I actually did was I got this cheaper microphone, the Boya BYM-M1, which came with its own dead cat, and then I just pulled it out. The funny thing is the Boya BYM-1 is actually cheaper. This microphone is actually cheaper than the dead cat meant for the Rode VideoMic Go II. So, budget hacks. Something very important that I often forget is to set my audio levels. So the primary benefit of the Rode VideoMic Go II is that it doesn't require any batteries. So you can just plug it into your microphone and do a typical vlog thing. You can hold your microphone like that and it will pick up your voice just fine. Why I use this one, the Rode VideoMic NTG, even though it requires a battery charge, is, I don't know, it just sounds better. I would consider your audio levels, essentially just your volume, to be something similar to your exposure levels on your camera, wherein if you go too high, you will clip the highlights. If you go too low, you will crush your shadows, crush your blacks. In the same way, if you do that with audio, if you're too loud, you will get distortion. If you're too soft, it will cause a lot of noise if you try and lift up your audio level. So preferably you try and be as close to a middle level as possible when recording your audio. I personally like to target -12 decibels, -12 dB on my camera, and this gives me a nice even balance. Now for the Rode VideoMic Go II, I need to set the audio levels on the camera, while the Rode Wireless Go and the Rode VideoMic NTG, again, you can set the volume levels on these devices separately.
No, because I'm strapped onto the mic and you are too, but like when you ran off, I was actually talking, but you were also apparently actually talking. So how does that, like, will my recording overlap with yours?
Okay, that's actually why I like using this microphone. Two microphones, right? One is strapped to me, one is strapped to you. What actually happens is one microphone is recorded on one channel and the other microphone is recorded on another channel. So we have two channels recording at the same time. You have the left channel and the right channel, which in theory will sound weird if you listen to them at the same time, because one person will be here, the other person will be on your other ear. But in post, you can always just put them both together in the middle channel so that you're hearing them both in both ears. Now, why don't I use shotgun microphones more often in my indoor studio recordings? It's because shotgun microphones are not meant to be used as indoor microphones. These things, like what I said about the noise cancellation effect, the longer it is, it cancels the more noise. It's just that when you're indoors, the echoes from reverberating inside a room actually mess with the noise cancelling mechanism inside the shotgun microphone, so you get some sort of phasing issues. I won't go into too much of the specifics. I'll just say that if you don't have a treated room, or if you have too small of a room with that microscopic, really small echoes bouncing off the walls, you might encounter some issues with the sound if you're obsessive like that, like me. But what about the wireless ones? Why don't I use these indoors? It's because of one specific reason. That thing right there. I would like to use them indoors. It's just that if I use them indoors, I encounter a lot of wireless interference. I purchased these clamp things for the desk. These are I don't know what this is, but you could see here, this thing. Yeah, so you clamp it on the desk and it just stays on there. Right? So that's something you have to consider when using the wireless microphones from Rode. Now, my overall recommendation is, if you're starting out as a vlogger, is to go with the wireless Go IIs. These are the 3 microphones you're deciding from, just because of that convenience of having it on your person, with the caveat that you just need to remember to charge these capsules. There are 3 parts that you need to remember to charge. One is the receiver, you attach this to your camera, and 2 microphones. For convenience, I actually purchased a charging case thingy. So this thing, you just put in your pieces in there, like so. The good thing about this one is it actually accepts the capsules even with the dead cats installed on them, because these dead cats, they're annoying to put on and off. I just leave them on and it charges them like this. This thing even functions like a power bank, so you can charge your phone off this thing if you need to. In conclusion, if you're fine with the inconvenience of having to constantly charge some wireless capsule, then I think the wireless Go IIs are your best option. But if you're more of the type of person to pick up a camera and just start recording immediately, I think the Rode VideoMic Go II might be the option for you, just because it doesn't require any batteries, it doesn't require any pre-preparation to set up. It's just plug and play and you can start recording immediately when you hit record on your camera. This video was all over the place and I'm sure you have questions, so please leave questions down below. I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. But for now, this video is over. I hope this was insightful. Consider subscribing if you found it useful. I'll see you in our next video. Now, this is probably the most YouTuber-y thing I think I've ever done. Skating while holding this huge microphone, risking my life